Okay, and we are live on Faz Radio. Thank you for coming, people, to see us. Oh, I suppose I need to say what we normally say. Hey, guys, welcome to Faz Radio. Here we go. Today, we have Vera, awesome community moderator at Gala Games. And she's going to tell us some stories. If it's nighttime, maybe it'll be a nighttime story. Or for you. If it's daytime, then it'll be a daytime story. Okay, that's my introduction.
So, Vera, just tell us everything. We'll sit back and listen, right?
Just everything. But it's handed over to you.
No, so... Well, I mean, people are really curious, right? Because you're always going 1,000 miles an hour with your hair on fire, and you seem to be literally in every damn room at the same time. I don't know how you do it. Who is Vera? Describe Vera for us.
Well, I'm a bot. Oh, I mean, I'm a human being.
Vera's a fuzzle. Where's your fuzzle voice? The AI must have gotten better.
My human. It's funny. Sometimes I get bored and I ask Fuzzle how I should answer questions. I'm like, Fuzzle, how should I handle this person that's fudding? And Fuzzle will be like, you should take them on a picnic and then go on a hot air balloon ride. I'm like, Fuzzle, I don't think that's going to apply here, but thanks.
You get to talk to Fuzzle? That's not fair. Are you a Fuzzle tester?
No, I own one.
Oh, I haven't. I didn't know that they were live yet. I don't own a Fuzzle.
Oh, they're so cute, and the app is out. So, yeah.
And now that was our Fuzzle advertisement.
We'll send an invoice over a little bit later.
Yeah, at least 50% of that.
Sure.
All Fuzzle sales for the next 2 hours. Half goes to Faz Radio, your source for Gala information.
For all your Fuzzle needs.
But wait, there's more. All right, back to it. Damn it, Vera, tell us who you are. Everybody's dying to know. Like, how did you fall into doing what you do, and why do you like to do what you do?
Well, I'm a big Gala fangirl, if it's not obvious. So back in the day, I was on Discord reading everything like it was a full-time job because that's what you had to do to just keep track of everything. And then I just saw people asking questions, and I answered their questions, and I did it so often that Gala wanted to hire me. And I'm like, what? I'm going to get paid for something I'm doing for free? And you're going to give me leaks? Like, this is amazing. So I basically get paid to be a fangirl and track down all the information and do the best job I can getting that information to the community and making sure that they're not confused with 28 games going on and every other project going on.
So what makes you want to do that? I mean, I understand being a fangirl and everything, but like, I mean, after a while, I mean, you are so patient, right? And you've been doing this for so long. Don't you just wake up sometimes and be like, I don't even want to log in?
Fuck these people, man.
It's funny, like, I get asked the same question over and over a lot, and people ask me, does that get boring? Does that get repetitive? But I'm kind of like, thank goodness, it's an easy question. I know the answer to that one, and then I get excited that I help someone. I also help, with the back-end stuff, like I ban scammers, and that brings me a lot of joy of, protecting people's life savings and doing that kind of stuff. And, just even a simple thing of, like, warning someone that, this is a scam and having a message saying that, like, they would have clicked on a scam link if I hadn't have said that. That's very motivating. That just, like, a few minutes of my time changed someone's life trajectory so much.
That's a really cool way to see it.
It absolutely is. So, like, I guess community manager, do you have a team? I mean, are you by yourself? Is it kind of a free-for-all? How do you guys organize yourselves over there?
We have a team. We're called Sages of the Red Flame because that's the most awesome, badass title we could come up with. And there's about 6 of us that probably hang out on the games Discord. And then, there's the film and the music Discords, which I don't really get any time to go over into. Well, we just hang out on Discord and we read everything the community says. We document every sentiment. Like I might be documenting 1,000 different comments every couple weeks. And then it's our job to communicate that to the people in charge and make sure the right eyeballs get to see all that feedback. So that way we can advocate for the community. We can remind people about promises made to the community. And so we just want Gala to be awesome.
That's interesting. I'd like to hear a little bit more about this documentation, because I know that we do some documentation, kind of, we have things, well, I won't say we, I mean, all the non-Gala people tend to do some documentation, like there's a Thune list out there and stuff. But how does this documenting work? Is this like a list kept by the company? Do you guys have meetings on these kind of things?
We do. So it's a big spreadsheet, and mostly it's Cake that looks at the data for right now. If it's a really important comment, then I'll just go right to the person that needs to see it, and I'll paste that into our Slack channels. Like, for example, the other day I noticed on CryptoFaz that someone was complaining about, not really complaining, they were just pointing out an observation about the number of pings that were fluff versus the number of pings that were actionable. And I thought, that's really important. I'm going to take a screenshot of that and make sure people see that so that we can be more mindful that we're giving really good, concrete information to the community.
Okay, so that begs the question. How much time does Gala spend on CFA perusing?
I can't speak for other employees. I don't get to hop on your Discord as much as I'd like to. And I don't even intend to document anything. I just noticed I'm like, leadership needs to know this.
We charge for those screenshots, by the way.
Well, no, I don't want that to come off as a negative or anything. I think it's awesome. People ask us about that every so often, and we just tell them, hey, look, not only are they there under their real name, they could be there under somebody else's name. You never know who's watching. So the things that you say do matter, whether it's to us or straight over on the Gala side. And this goes to reinforce, we keep telling them, hey, they're listening. And they go, yeah, whatever. This is fantastic. I hope everybody's paying attention to that.
Yeah, I kind of see, where was I going with that? I kind of see CryptoFaz Academy as a safe place for people to have complaints about things. There are some things that people can't say on the Gala Discord, and I've noticed personally, Vera occasionally comes over and calms people down, but people can say things a bit differently over here than over in the Gala Discord.
Yeah, I think that your Discord's very casual and relaxed, and I think it's a great place for community members to have conversations.
And I know even Benefactor, when we first started the Discord, he was explaining the need for a community group where people don't have to toe the line as much, and they don't have to watch their P's and Q's as much as the Gala Discord. He said that a lot at first, and he even came over from time to time at first, but then he got busy. And I think it's just as important. I keep reminding people that the Gala Discord is a company Discord. There's certain things that you can't like go into 7-Eleven and start saying certain things and say, well, this is my right to say this. Or you can't come into 7-Eleven without shirt and shoes, even though it's your right to as an American that you can. It's actually private property and they can kick you out. And the same thing goes with the Gala Discord. There's certain rules that they have there that they would rather you follow to be nice, and so that they can handle it, and so it doesn't put them in legal jeopardy. And you can say those things on the CryptoFaz Discord.
So, hey, Vera, take us through kind of like a typical day for you. How long? I mean, are you there like 12 hours a day? Do you stay logged in 16 hours? What are some cool stories, maybe where you've been really able to help somebody, or a story about maybe a situation that turned bad and how people can learn from that?
That's a good question. I'll tell you a funny one. So,
We love
I
those. Funnier the better.
so it's really great when people reach out and they ask, does this person work for Gala, because they messaged me, and obviously the Gala team will never DM you first. We like put that all over our Discord, and hopefully that'll, people that are new learn that. But one person, they sent me a screenshot of someone impersonating Gala customer support, and the username, you wouldn't believe it, it was D's nuts. So I had to kindly explain to the person, no, I'm sorry, D's nuts does not work for Gala.
And they didn't see that like coming a mile away.
They didn't. And these scammers, they use such funny names. Like, I have to ban Grandma, I have to ban John Wick, I have to ban God. Like,
Wow.
no, these aren't.
Dude,
these
she's
are
heavy.
terrible
That's heavy.
names.
Well, I've been pretty lucky over there. I only got my Winky stepped on once. Ventit kind of showed me the way there one time. I tried to be sneaky, and they're like, "Yeah, no, you can't do that." And I was like, "Damn it!" So I think over the course of like the last, I don't know, maybe 3 to 6 months, I've been really impressed with how the moderators have turned back the dial a little and are starting to guide people towards the right way of acting there, instead of just bringing out the ban hammer and smacking everybody on the head with it.
Yeah, our moderators, they're amazing. They're very compassionate people. Like, no one's there for a power hungry thing. Like me personally, and I know a lot of moderators do not get any pleasure from, putting people in timeout or moderating people or banning them, because one, it's not fun. You have people mad at you, and then there's all the paperwork that everyone else is out having fun, and you have to go, document what happened.
What is your favorite part of Gala? Like, is it playing the games? Is it interacting with people? What do you think?
I would say my team, like the other CMs, we're like family, and I also get to hang out with the Vox team a lot, and they're just so much fun. Like, we laugh so hard, and I couldn't imagine not seeing these people every day, even though it's virtually. But, it's fun. Like, even though I'm a community manager, I still get to help out with things on Vox. So, for example, I'm working on an NPC character for Vox Odyssey that I can't talk about yet, but once it's revealed, I'll tell you guys, that was me.
That's awesome.
I keep hearing stories like that where people in certain positions get to do things that they wouldn't normally be able to do in other companies. Not to turn this into an advertisement to work at Gala, but do you have any other cool things that only Gala does, you think, that other companies don't do?
I would say, yeah, this is going to sound like a promo. Sorry about that. But, the way that they care about team members, like, we had this big dialogue a little bit ago about air quality, since we're all remote. And that was a serious question. Everyone was asked, how's the air quality where you're working? And do you need air purifiers? And if you needed an air purifier, they're taking care of it for you. So it's just those little things that they do to make sure that you're taken care of. It's I've never heard of another company caring that much.
That actually makes a certain amount of sense. I mean, because you're indoors probably all day. But heck, you could even do your job from a cell phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That would be awesome. the reason I'm asking about that is because Titan and I frequently have negative things to say about Gala games, and a lot of people have certain opinions on which direction Gala is going, or what does this actually mean, and so on. And I try to be realistic when I talk with people about things. I try not to be overly optimistic. And I get middling results. I'm curious, does that happen to you as well? Do you have to deal with people who are really negative about Gala and its direction and so on?
Oh, for sure, all the time, and we're always here to listen. And the funny thing is, I love your guys' negative comments. I really do, because you represent the community in some ways, and you're very well-spoken people, so it's very easy to listen to your show, and you're kind of doing my job for me a little bit, and I can just take notes and make sure that information gets passed on.
So so along that line, how can we be sure that you're not taking things personally? And I'm asking this because I've seen so many people said this moderator is really out to get me, or they've really pissed me off. How can we know that Gala moderators in general aren't taking things personally?
Well, everything has to be documented, and if it's not documented, it's still on the audit log, so we're aware of everything going on. So you can't sneak in a ban or a timeout without all the community managers knowing. We also have regular meetings, and we talk to the moderators, who are amazing, and they do get, I think it's important to acknowledge a lot of people take things out on them because they think they're Gala employees, but they're not. And I think they do an awesome job, volunteering, doing the best to not let it get to them. We always make sure that there's no, funny business like that going on, if that makes sense.
So something like I bust Faz's chops constantly for being, quote, always on Gala's side, right? And quite a few others join me in trying to hit him with the tack hammer with that.
Are you going to ask why Vera is always on Gala's side? Really?
No, I'm not. No. So, well, sort of. What I'm gonna say is one of Faz's biggest phrases. He said it. If you look up a search term in Discord, he'll say you don't understand because you're not on the inside. So you are on the inside, and you see what a lot of the community members will say, and they'll throw hand grenades at this, that, and the other, and you've got to kind of bite your knuckle because you want to tell them, hey, that's not the way it is. So is that frustrating? How hard is that to where you can't really correct people because you can't give away what you're not supposed to give away? I would imagine that's ridiculously hard.
What if they're right? I mean, I'm sure that sometimes these guys have hit you square between the eyes and you can't say, well, okay, yeah, that's a point.
I mean, I definitely understand when people are frustrated, like if a sale goes, wrong, or, details change last minute. We're community members too, so the things that frustrate the community probably is frustrating us, even though we're not expressing that. So we definitely empathize and understand that. So it's kind of hard to, be mean to someone that's, going through something that wasn't really an issue that they created. It's just when people, go expletive, which is, one of the funny things, because people will send DMs that are really nasty to team members, and then they'll get banned. And then they'll be like, I have no idea why I was banned. I'm like, I know why.
Or they come over, or they come over to CryptoFaz and they continue the argument, like right in the middle of the argument, and I pop up and I'm like, what the hell is going on?
You guys do a great job of moderating that.
We try, and there's without calling out a specific name, there's one person that I know that is no longer over at the Gala server, and really, really good person, has just good thoughts, but is just horrible at communicating those thoughts in a way that doesn't sound like complete horrid, right? So how do you personally draw that line between, hey, this person is like toxic, and oh, they're just pissed off because they lost their ETH in a gas transaction?
If it's that much of a line where it's kind of blurry, then I wouldn't make that decision myself. It would be a group decision.
So that's a good
So
that's a good point that you bring up, Titan, about losing ETH in a gas transaction. Sometimes things go wrong, and sometimes things can't get solved right away, or it becomes hard to know the right answer on that. Like if you did lose your ETH in a gas transaction, sometimes Gala may not cover it. Is there a place on the website or on the Discord that we can see what to do when some things go wrong, other than just file a ticket? Because sometimes these tickets can take forever.
Yeah, that is a good point. But the CS team has been on fire getting tickets out lately, so you should get a response in under a day if you have an issue, sometimes within a few hours. But if they have an issue, they can always reach out to us. They can always post in chat and ping a moderator if they're having an issue. Moderator might just tell them to put in a ticket, but we'll still see the ping as well. So if it's, something that's really easy to solve, we can handle it right there. Otherwise, the CS team has to take care of it.
So are you guys just liaisons, or do you actually have an ability to solve some of these problems yourself? I mean, I assume maybe then you can only affect Discord roles or something, but not like refunds.
Right. All my powers are on Discord. I don't have any CS powers. I can't look up your account. I don't know your name. I don't know what you have in your wallet. I can't figure anything out from your ticket number. I can only pass that on to the CS team.
So the way that you approach these issues, I'm finding it. I mean, people would say before, hey, we don't make all these decisions ourselves, and people would throw bombs back at you like, oh, you can't make a decision, then why are you even doing this? So I think it's awesome to take that team approach when there's something that's maybe a little blurry like that. And I do tend to side with Gala 90% of the time when they decide to take an action.
Is this
right?
the same Titan that I've been talking to for about a year and a half on Faz Radio? Because that's not what I've heard, sir.
No. Well, the 10% is usually what you hear. No, the 10% is what you hear because it pisses me off, right? So if I get mad, I'll start crowing about it, because sometimes, I mean, it's all right. So I'll just say it the way it is, right? So there was a situation that went sideways not too long ago with a drop, and the executive team, the green names, came in and were inflaming things further by certain comments. And I think you know what I'm talking about with who that might be. And then people started getting banned for it. And I'm like, you know what? That's not right. When someone else like that comes into that conversation and drops F-bombs, it's just going to inflame things worse. And then those people are going to get amped up even more, and they're the ones getting banned. I'm like, that's not right.
If someone has been banned and they feel it was unfair, I highly encourage them to reach out to a community manager so we can look at the information. Because if it's not fair, then we'll appeal the ban. We'll overturn it.
So are you able? Okay, that's a good point, and I'm just speaking for others, because I would never get banned. But
I would have banned you about 5 times already if I could.
Quiet. Anyway, so if a green name comes on and starts starting shit, I mean, what are my options? I mean, a lot of people start talking back. They're like, "Oh, you wanna get all honest with us? We'll get all honest with you." And then lo and behold, they're gone after a while. Are you actually able to address those kind of situations, or are they a bit difficult?
I don't really have meetings with the green names, so I talk to someone else who talks to someone else who talks to them. If you have an issue, if there's some kind of misunderstanding, then I would love to solve that and help and listen to your issues with that.
Oh, wait. Let's back up for 1 second, because that makes a lot of sense what you were just saying, right? So is there maybe, with all this big growth and expansion that you guys just had, you're well up over 400 people now, and you've got 5 layers between a community manager and the green names. Do you think that hinders how information gets handled?
I think there's definitely room for improvement, and with the Discord culture that the CMs have been cultivating, we have a certain level of patience with the community, and if someone is new or not familiar or not up to date with that culture that we're striving for, if they jump the gun, then we want to, get back to that equilibrium that we're trying to foster that growth for.
Now, what about when somebody gets banned? I know I've talked with people who have either felt that the ban was wrong, or maybe you didn't understand or something, and people have said that Gala Games hasn't listened in the past. How would they go about it, since they can't get onto the Gala Discord anymore? How would they actually talk to you? I mean, are their accounts banned too?
Well, they can just DM any of the CMs.
Well, you have to share a server, I believe, with one of them in order to DM them.
I think my DMs are open. And if not, they could always ping me on CryptoFaz and add me as a friend and let me know.
There you go. We offer that service. We connect you to people. So that's a good question, because some people have said, well, I don't know what the recourse is. Do I send them an email or whatever? So they should always be able to DM in that case. Mm-hmm. When you get banned, is your account banned? Your Gala Games account?
Absolutely not. No. That's a rumor. I'd love the opportunity to clear up. It's, if you get moderated on Discord, it doesn't affect your Gala account. It doesn't affect your node earnings. Like, we're not going to figure out who you are and take your node away or something like really weird like that. It just means you're just not going to hang out on Discord.
Because some people have mentioned, well, there's certain things that you can only find out on the Gala Discord. You can you get told right away in the Gala Gold channel, and if you get banned, then you don't have access to that. I have mentioned to people that emails tend to get sent out for a lot of things like that. I don't know if they get sent out in all circumstances. Are there some Discord-only events that you need to be a active and in good standing Discord member?
Yeah, maybe. For example, if we're putting together a focus group, then we'd want to ask the upstanding community members to be part of that.
Okay. So let's maybe go a little bit further with that, right? So you seem to be spread so thin. To get back to what we were talking about earlier, you're in like 9 channels and you're having 5 different conversations with 12 different people at once, right? Yeah. So how do you keep all that straight? I mean, that has got to be like mind-numbing after a while.
Well, maybe is there a tool that you use or something like that, or are you using
okay,
spreadsheet?
Yeah. Thank you, Faz. That's what I mean. How do you keep track of all that?
It's good old-fashioned memory. So I have multiple screens up.
Okay, she's a superstar then. Is there so there, I mean, you're obviously sharing this with other people. Are you just sharing it on Slack and that's it?
The sentiment report, or what do you mean?
Well, I guess I don't know. So you guys have a sentiment report that you do?
Mhm. Yeah. The spreadsheet that I document everyone's comments so that the team is aware of things.
And
Ooh.
so that goes. So you document that. Does that go to that goes to the group, or that goes to management, and they decide, or do you? I think you were already talking about this earlier. So if I'm covering it again, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it gets pushed up the chain,
Okay.
and I don't like the
So
word chain because it's so not a hierarchy, you know. Yeah.
It gets pushed to the
so
group.
yeah, I've gotten this at least a dozen times from people, if not more. So let's just say people are yipping on the Gala server and they're yipping over on CFA. Does that we've seen so many of the people that have become mods or gone on to become red names over there. How is that how is that looked at? I mean, do you guys like actively search through there looking for people that might be a good fit, or do you wait for people to kind of throw their hat in the ring and then watch them?
A little bit of both. When I was approached, and I had a spontaneous interview. I've been a moderator for a few months when Nephilim Haas asked me to hop on a video call, and I just figured we were going to talk about moderator stuff. And he brings on Guru, and they start asking me questions, and they're like, "So Vera, if you had a superpower, what would it be? And what's the difference between an 1155 and a 721?" And I'm like, "What? What a weird getting to know you question." And they're like, "This is totally not an interview. We just want to get to know you better."
It's the
And it was
non-interview interview.
yeah, it was totally an interview because after the conversation ended, they said, "You passed the interview. Please send in your resume."
That's how they hire
That's
people. Now we
fantastic.
know.
That is fantastic. So as you go forward with this, is this it, do you have aspirations at Gala? Do you want to stay with what you're doing? Do you want to become something different or greater, or what is it you aspire to there?
I like being a community manager. I like being in all the channels. I've got ADD, so like that's like the perfect position for me. As for aspirations, I want to get more of my writing into video games, and I get to work with the Vox Odyssey team and help with their story. So it's kind of my goal to get some adventures in that as a starting point.
I have a good one. Um, I think this is just my assumption. I think eventually, when games like Miranda's come out and you can play in the games and meet in taverns and start talking in the voice channel, I'm betting that there's going to be some sort of moderation in game that's going to be needed. Have you guys even speculated about that kind of eventuality yet?
Not yet. Each team kind of has a different opinion about that. For example, the Spider Tanks team, it's more like you report something and then they'll take a look at the report and then they might ban the user later. So it'll be interesting to see how the Miranda's team approaches that because that's always a challenge. Nobody wants a toxic voice channel.
Yeah, I know they're still setting that up, and if you recall from, I'm going to repeat something from Miranda's the Miranda's fireside chat just yesterday. Is apparently, and this is because I'm a dude, so I wouldn't know this. Apparently, when females are in playing games a lot, if they're in voice channels, they tend to either get harassed or asked out for dates all the time by males on the channel, males which are like 97% of gamers. And so most of them stay quiet. And they had talked about this really interesting VR technology that they might have eventually, to where you could disguise your voice. If you're playing an orc, you'll be an orc. You'll sound like an orc. It'll lower your voice really big. Or if you're gonna play a human, then it'll change. Or play an elf, it'll do something else to your voice and so on. But
I have that now. That's that thing I used to make that video last week, and it incorporates right into Discord and everything with a button push. You can sound like anything.
oh, that's cool. But that I was just thinking about that, and I'm like, that would be an interesting opportunity, because, well, an interesting situation that would have to come up with moderation, because if they're having to worry about people getting harassed in the chat, there's got to be people in the chat that need to listen to that stuff, or at least something to write down that stuff so you can review it.
It'll be an interesting thing to see if it'll be player moderated or employee moderated. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Vera, about the explosive growth there? So we have tons of conversations, both, well, you're a listener here, you've heard it on here, and on CFA quite a bit. We have these discussions about how fast you've grown and the growing pains that come with that. Tell us your experience with that, maybe, and share with our listeners what that has been like going through, how fast you've grown.
Goodness. Yeah, it's been pretty fast. So I think when there's a lot of growth, I think one of the biggest challenges is making sure that that foundational communication is still up to par. And so it's chasing down a lot of people, having a lot of conversations, and it takes a lot of extra effort to make sure everyone's on the same page. I think that's typical of any organization that's at this stage of growth.
Well, I think you guys are far exceeding a stage of growth this early in the process. And surprisingly, the thing that Faz has complained about, and I complain about the most, is that communication. It's gotten better. All right. It's a lot of us still feel it's probably not where it is. Do you guys talk about that there? How to communicate better? Are you relying on the Cake Squad to do that? How are you guys internally approaching getting better communications out? Because that would solve like 95% of the butt hurt that we see every day.
You're asking all my questions, dude. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'm excited. Vera's like the top dog here when it comes to interacting with people. So I just get so excited when I can actually ask all these questions I've always wondered about.
Communication is so key, and we talk about this a lot in pretty much every meeting on how to improve it, how to have the information be easier for the community now that our Discord has like over 100 English speaking channels and there's just so much going on. That's a constant conversation on how we can do that. And are we going to do that on Discord? And would it make sense to split the Discords more? Would it make sense to give Spider Tanks or Townstar their own Discord, and that way the information's more concentrated? Or would that create more of a fracture and more disinformation? So that's one of the dialogues we're currently having, is how are we going to handle future growth when there is limits on what you can do in our Discord. And I don't think the Discord company ever intended for a company like us to have so much going on. And that's one of the reasons why I'm constantly in every channel answering whatever question I can to ensure that people are getting the answers to their questions and they're not getting lost in the void. So everyone knows that their questions are important and that they have all the information they can possibly have to make whatever decisions they need to make.
That's a good point that Titan brought up there. I do get rather concerned about how Gala communicates things, and I get accused of being a Gala apologist when I start saying things like, look, Gala's still figuring this stuff out. This is a new area. There are reasons why things get delayed. There are reasons why they set dates out in the future. A lot of times they'll say a date. Like just recently on the CFA Discord, somebody mentioned, or I think I mentioned, that Spider Tanks would be releasing on October 31st. And so Titan comes back immediately and is like,
it's not an official date.
oh, okay, yeah. Well, I was going to go there too, but I was getting to the point that let's just get real. They put these dates down because they have targets, and whether it's an official date or not, yes, it could get pushed. but a lot of people jump immediately to, why didn't they get this out sooner? Why wasn't this taking, I mean, why is this taking so long? And it's like, dude, you've got companies that need to agree with each other on when to do things. Marketing is always based upon timing, or not always. Marketing is a lot of times it is based upon timing. And then there's realities of the game. You know, they could Spider Tanks could be done with their game and testing it, and they're finding little things in testing, and then they talk. I'm sure they talk every week about, okay, is this feature actually done enough? Well, yeah, it's done. And then the next week it's like, you know, too many people have complained about this. Let's push our release another week. And I'm having to explain a lot of realities on the ground as to why certain dates, why they put dates out there, and why they might be missed, and why it's actually not that big of a deal. I think people really worry about when they hear a date. They think that if that date gets missed, that these guys are idiots. They don't know what they're doing. They're scamming us. Maybe that has to do with a lot of people that are in crypto NFTs right now have a degen aspect of their character.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've seen other crypto games, you know, say that they ran out of funding last minute, and then all that money went, where did it go? And I think you have to realize Gala is big. We're working with big names. We're not going anywhere. And dates do get pushed back. That's a very normal thing in software development. I think people aren't familiar with the video game making process, and they're not aware.
I think that's definitely it. I see. I've been a software developer for over 20 years, and I think 25 years, and these dates get pushed all the time, and I see a lot of I've seen a lot of the sausage go on. I've seen when things go live, how precarious they are, and when things get pushed, why maybe it wasn't that big of a deal to push it, but then they do it for other reasons. And I see all these, I think, degens on Gala's website seeing that something's going to be delayed, and then they hear some of the sausage because, you know, some of the people a lot of people at Gala just tell you the honest truth. Yeah, we fucked up, or yeah, that didn't go right. It didn't go as we planned, or something. And then they go, oh my God, if you can't even do this, why the hell should I buy this? You don't have to buy this. You don't have to do anything. It's if you want to wait till it's all done with, wait till it's all perfect, then you should buy it. How's that?
I totally believe in voting with your wallet. You know, that's another thing that so many people act like Gala is holding a gun to their head, saying that you have to buy this. No. I mean, sure, we have good marketing, but, you know, do what's right for you. Like, all that pressure people have to buy NFTs, it's I don't understand why they do it to themselves sometimes.
That's the degen aspect that I'm talking about. That it just so happens that this Discord, Twitter, GameFi place right now is not full of gamers. It's actually full of degens. And these degens want one thing. They want a profit. And I know that Gala is having to fight through those degens to find the real gamers. And it's a bit difficult. And I think people need to realize that Gala is here to make this is my 2 cents. I'm not speaking for Gala, but in my 2 cents is Gala is here to make games. If you choose to be a degen and make money off of what they're doing, realize that it's you deciding that you're doing betting on your own time. It's not that something that Gala is going to support or encourage. You know, is Gala doing something like that internally? I don't know. But they certainly can't. They certainly can't support, you know, any of the questions that you have, like, why the hell should I buy this NFT if I'm not going to make money on it? You shouldn't. It's that simple. Don't do it. That's one thing I really liked Eric saying with those nodes, because the nodes started out at like $1,200, and then when I got into it, they had gone down some because they were on sale and Bitcoin had gone down. And then they were selling so many nodes. They're like, you know what? We're going to raise the price because we need to sell them a bit slower because people are just buying them out. And so they did, and the price started going up and up and up and up. And then as it went up, all the degens would come on and they'd say, "Tell me why I need to buy this node." No. Eric would say, "No, I'm not going to tell you. Don't buy it." You know, and it's, yeah. I'm sure. I'm sure as a degen, I'm part degen. I'm not whole degen. As a degen myself, I'm certainly looking at that angle. But that's for you to decide. I mean, it's like going to a car company and saying, "How much money can I make off of this Ford Mustang?" I mean, the dealer's going to look at you like, "What? Are you looking about mileage? I can tell you mileage." And they're going to be like, "No, if I do pizza, if I do pizza runs with this thing, and we have this kind of gas mileage that you've told me, how much money can I make?" And they're going to be kind of baffled. But for some reason, the entire Gala, well, a lot of the Gala audience will be like, "Why the hell should I buy this NFT? I want to make, I want to do something with it and make a lot of money with it. Why should I buy it?" So that seems like it would be a really hard thing for you guys to address, and that's my 2 cents is that Gala might still not have the best wording or angle on how to address that just yet.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point. Anytime I see any of that on our Discord, I make sure it's clear that things are not an investment. And the reason why I'm so, spamming that like everywhere, it seems like, is I get so many DMs from, very silly people who told me like, "Yeah, I just put all my life savings and my retirement fund into an NFT." And I'm like, "Why would you do that? No, that was not the intent."
I just bought a whole fleet of Ford Mustangs, and you're telling me now that they're 1 mile a gallon less than I thought they were? I mean, how come my business isn't going to work anymore?
I mean, I look at NFTs kind of like, Lego kits, because if you go to the Lego store, if you say, "If I buy this Lego box and I put it under my mattress for 20 years, how much am I going to make?" That's like the most ridiculous question. You buy it for fun, you buy it to own it, you buy it to display it. And I think our game assets are kind of very similar to that.
And then when you say that, then they go, "Well, then I won't buy it." Okay. I mean, you don't see Lego arguing with people. They're like, by the way, some of those kits cost $400. Really cool ones, they cost like $400.
$400 for Star Wars one.
Well, so my argument on that has simply been, I don't care what Gala charges for whatever NFT. Here's the thing, though. It either has to provide rewards or it has to provide utility that justifies the price in order to get people to buy it, right? So if you present me with an NFT for a game that I want to play, I say, "All right, I'm going to go in and buy this tavern for Mirandus. I think that would be fun," right? So I need to be able, in my mind, to justify the price of that NFT, either in rewards or in utility. But here's where it all falls apart. Right at this point, I can't make that determination because I go, "Oh, okay, well, what are the rewards going to be?" And they go, "Thune, we'll tell you." "Oh, all right, then, well, what about the utility?" "Oh, it's going to be great. You'll see."
Well, I think,
and
I think the reason.
Let me finish my point.
Well, I think that they're not supporting that angle. See, you're saying, "Well, you haven't told me this important part." That's a part they don't support.
Well, that's why you have these people aping in and then getting butthurt later. And I think if you go look at the store, you're seeing not a lot of sales. I think some of it is because of pricing. I think some of it is because, it's just a bad time. You have node sales going. You have this sale, superior sale, spider tank sale, yada, yada, yada. But a big part of that, I think I've been pushing this narrative for months now, is you've got to know what you're getting yourself into before you buy it. It'll avoid a lot of problems later. And they're not telling you that. I understand, believe me, I understand the need for flexibility. But if you're going to try and sell something to somebody for, $7, $8, $900, which to most of the gamers on CFA and Gala, $900 is a mortgage payment that they're having trouble paying right now. So in order to make that decision, they have to know either what am I going to get out of this, or what is the enjoyment or utility that I'm going to get out of this for. I think,
Okay,
yeah,
that makes a little sense
that's
then. Maybe you're saying why the fuck would I want to pay $900 for actually, why would I want to pay $5,000 for an ancient orb that casts sunlight and prevents shade from happening or something? That's what's on sale today, isn't it?
right. So that's a great one, right? So if you're big into the competitions and you feel like you can place well, that's a no-brainer. Go buy that thing. You'll do your wine, and you'll get the shade from the mountain knocked off. You'll place higher. You'll make some money. I get that. But again, for the average gamer who's just trying to get a leg up and wanting to play games, again, the narrative being play games, but then it always comes back to the money. Always.
I really don't think that a $5,000 shade preventing device is really something that an average gamer would want personally.
That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Well, that means they're marketing toward it's who are they marketing toward people right now? Whenever you market, you're picking your audience, and they're not marketing to people who live in the inner city, for example.
That one's very niche. It's Titan hit the nail on the head where it is geared towards the competitive fan. I think the point between spending $900 on a mortgage or buying an NFT, obviously personal responsibility, please pay your mortgage. I think we target the gamer that's choosing between the $900 Lego set versus owning your game asset.
So that's an argument that Faz and I have had offline probably 300 hours worth over the last year. Gala markets all of this stuff to the higher end community, so to speak, the upper middle class that can afford the $900 for the
those
NFT
are
instead of
the early adopters. The early adopters
Okay,
are
no,
going to be
wait.
those.
I can never finish anything without you jumping in the middle of it. So the problem is that the majority of the people that come into this gaming realm, and if you're wanting to get mass players, which you have to have in order for this play to earn economy to work, you have to have a mass number of players. And if you're focused on the upper middle class, that is a very small niche compared to what you could get with a $30 whatever. That maybe somebody who works as a janitor making $12 an hour could afford that $30 NFT to come in and play, and they would buy more and more and more and spend. You have to have more coming in than is going out. And when you market to these players who have so much money, they're going to want to pull money out, because rich people get rich by taking money out and earning money. And they stay rich by doing the same. And if you don't have mass numbers of people, which is kind of what happened with Townstar, you're going to have the same problem over and over and over again.
Can I say something?
Each game has a different economy plan that they're working on. And, let's talk about Echoes of Empire, for example. They have a heavy focus on making sure the free-to-play player has an easy time getting in, has an easy, so they don't feel like they have to own an NFT, but if they do, that's fine too. So it's like both the free-to-play player and the NPC owner are important in the ecosystem that they are designing. And it has the faucets, it's got the sink, so it's balanced in a beautiful way. So I'm really excited to see what they come up with when their alpha comes out later.
Titan, I don't feel like Gala is taking just one approach, and I certainly agree with what you're saying about, boy, they really need to do this. But I just corrected somebody, or not corrected, but I kind of talked at somebody on the CFA Discord today. Everybody has a suggestion as to how a large company should do what they're doing. But it's different when you run the company. And I like to look at what people do versus what they say. Now, what they're saying, what Gala Games says to me is, we want everybody to play games. But what they're doing is, they're going after the money. And if they can sell things for $5,000, then that's what they'll do. Just like Apple sells these. When Apple came out with the iPhone, they came out with these really expensive phones that I couldn't afford. And every year they get more and more expensive. And every year I think to myself, what idiots buy these things? Well, I mean, maybe the Gala Games has found that the Apple strategy works for them. So once you start seeing them change and trying to hit the lower end, which actually, in my opinion, if they have 30 different games, they have ample opportunity to do. Like what Vera was saying with Echoes of Empires. They have about 50, for every game they have an additional opportunity to hit a different demographic. And the types of games that they have out looks like they're going after that very thing. So I really don't feel that when people say, oh my God, they've got to do this, they've got to do that, that we're hearing the whole story, or that we see the full story. There's so much more going on.
Exactly. And, one of the very most common feedbacks that I hear from the community is that when lower NFT prices, when budget-friendly NFT prices, and I'm excited for when Gala Chain can come out, because then that makes a lot more sense to do things on the Gala Chain versus on the ETH chain to have more budget-friendly things.
Well, I'm not trying to bash Gala, because hell, if I owned Gala and someone would pay me 5,000 instead of 500, I'd take it all day long, of course. It's that communication back and forth. We keep seeing Jason come in and saying, we have to have mass players. We've got to get to that, and we've got to get the gamers here. But the gamers will have nothing to do with pay to win at all. And that's how they view the NFTs. And then they come to the Gala site and they see everything in hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. And they're like, nope, I'm out.
Well, there's a difference between, quote, keeping the lights on and implementing a plan that you want to do. And when my 2 cents, when Eric gets on the Discord and starts talking about things, I think he's literally telling you his state of mind at the moment. When he says something like, boy, we really need a puzzle game, I think that's the first or second time he's actually said it. And then you're like, what the fuck? Why would he even say that if he didn't have a puzzle game in mind or a deal in place? That's because you're used to every other company not saying a damn word until they have a deal in place. And I think a lot, if he says something like, we need to get these lower end people as well, I think he certainly wants to, but until those people come, you still got to pay the bills. And if the people that buy these stupid NFTs, not stupid, I'm sorry, people buy these. I forgot Vera was on the line. But if people buy these NFTs for $5,000, then they're okay, fine. I would sell them these NFTs for $5,000, and I would also say I want to get lower end users in too. One is short term, one is long term. So I don't see a contradiction there.
Yeah, I think we can revisit this conversation in a year and see how things have changed. It'll be interesting.
Challenge accepted. August 26, 2023. Be there or be rectangular.
So one of the big questions, and I've seen this 3 times already. So Vera, people want to know, how hard is it for you to not slip with information or leaks or stuff you're not supposed to say?
It is so hard. Like, for example, I know some of the big name musicians we're talking to. I know what Series 4 Vox is. I know what IP we're in talks with for games that would be amazing. And I have to sit on my hands and not talk about it because some of the stuff the community won't even learn about for like a year later. So it can be a challenge.
So when will Matt Damon be coming on? No, I'm kidding.
Sorry? Oh, if you had any idea.
So have you ever like totally fucked up and put something out there and then had to pull it back later?
Not directly. Other employees have, and I have screenshotted what they said and put it in there, and then I was the one that got in trouble.
So when you're out perusing, do you go looking for places to go jump into a conversation, or do you just kind of sit around and see what happens?
I'm more active. Some of the other CMs are more lurking, and they're just working on documenting and making sure, Discord's a nice, happy, friendly place. So when I get up in the morning, I have a lot of messages, I have a lot of pings, so I kind of read and go through and answer all my pinged messages first.
Awesome. And when you all right, that's got to be like 10,000 of those things, right? So do you have like set work hours, or do you set your own work hours, or how does that all work? Like, do you try and vary it because to catch, conversations that are maybe different at different times? How do you work your day?
We don't really have set hours for the Sages. I just kind of wake up whenever I wake up, and then I hop on the computer, and then I'm on Discord until I feel like going to bed, and then I just go to bed. So
You've got like a dream job over there, let me tell you. Just kind of do whatever the hell you want and talk to people all day and then go to bed.
It is a lot
Holy
of fun.
cow. So what do you look forward to most? Is it like things that happen in games or film or music? What do you look forward to seeing information on the most?
Mostly games. Like I cannot wait for Vox Series 4 to be released because the art's amazing. I've been playing The Walking Dead Empires internally online, and that's been fun. So I'm excited for the playtest that's coming out in a couple days. So it has surprised me how The Walking Dead is now like in my top 3 at the moment.
But the release date on that is like late 2023, if I'm not mistaken. I thought I saw that somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know the exact date. It's not this year.
So that's interesting that you can play it so soon.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it looks pretty, but keep in mind, all that code on the inside is held together with bubble gum and duct tape.
Right. That's something else to mention to Titan that I'm not sure if we've talked much about. A lot of times they get all the pieces together, and then you have to go through multiple passes to streamline the code and make things more efficient. You're gonna just barely get it working, test it, make sure the concept's down, and then you got to refactor all that code, essentially rewrite it, and then you got to take then of course you might have targets for machine RAM and machine speed. It's like, wow, we can get this feature works, but we can't get it working on our target computer speed, because you don't want everybody else to have a top of the line computer to run the thing.
Yeah, and there's so many little details. Like, for example, Mirandus, when I kind of see what they worked on today, I see, okay, they're working on waterfall graphics, and then the next day they're tackling wolf movement. And it's just, there's so many little things that you have to do, to handle everything. it takes a lot more time than people would imagine.
Those are the kind of things I was hoping that eventually, maybe on this show, we'd be able to get to do. Would be, I don't know, talk with Miranda's master about how they do wolf movement, and I know that they had some on in the beginning about how they're testing movement in general. They're showing like the character running and jumping and climbing and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a funny story. So, I have Slack set up on my phone, and I got this message on my phone, and it was like nude models. And I was like, no, what? No! And, oh, the Miranda's team is working on some 3D modeling.
Yeah, and something.
My phone was like hacked for a second.
Something else I was telling Titan about. So many things are going to be sold in these games. The clothing is a big thing in games, and so of course the nude models would be the base model for the character. But you're gonna be buying clothes. I thought there was like 6 clothing shops sitting around in OpenSea that they had actually been dropped. I don't remember, but I mean I guarantee you're going to be buying swords, you're going to be buying potions, you're going to be buying clothing. You're going to spend money for a stupid little hat that I'd like to know if you could win a hat for by playing a mini game in the tavern. That'd be kind of cool. But there's so many of these assets that they have to put together. I mean, it's not like you're just going to get one bit of clothing for each person. They've got to make not only a whole economy, but all the items in it. They make how the economy works, and then every single thing, every shirt, every pair of socks, everything.
Yeah, and it has to fit the human, the orc, the elves, the halflings. So they kind of have to do the same thing over and over and over again just to make sure that it accommodates all the characters.
Yeah, separate graphics team.
So speaking of, right, so you were mentioning you sit there and you're playing The Walking Dead, right? And you're playing it and you notice something is like not right. You're like, do you like go over and do you like DM the team and be like, hey, you know what? This house looks like complete dog shit. Are you guys gonna fix this? How much of like the development is play testing by internal people?
Well, it's open to everyone in the company once a week. So for what
but do you guys put that in there? Do you like DM them and be like, hey, this hut looks like ass. Are you guys gonna fix that, or is that what you're really putting out?
The hut does not look like ass. but yeah, we give them feedback. For example, they hadn't in one of the playtests. It was hilarious because they hadn't put the boundaries for some of the water areas yet. So I'm like having like so much fun taking all these funny screenshots of like walking on water. And then someone made the posted a picture of Jesus, who's a character from The Walking Dead. Like the Walking Dead team, they're amazing. They're great.
That sounds like you guys have more fun than any other like company out there. That has to be a huge part of it, is the fun that you guys have in the camaraderie. So what are some of the without mentioning names, of course, what are some of the funny stories of internal things like the Jesus thing and all that you've had recently?
I might get in trouble.
Well, I don't want to get you in trouble.
No, I mean we can have fun. Like, I like my teams and send it to other CMs sometimes.
Well, what I was kind of pushing at is, a lot of times looking from the outside in, the community looks at it, and Jason will come in all the time. He's like, "Oh, we're working our asses off and everything else," and we believe you now after a couple of chats with him. But when people can see on that backside, hey, all of this stuff, we're having fun, but this stuff is important. We do want to give that feedback before the end user or the community sees it. And that's a really important part of the development process. But you also do have to have fun, because that's got to be super stressful there.
Yeah, and I mean, with the community's concerns, we hear so much from them. The CMs, we wouldn't be putting in as many hours as we are if it wasn't fun. We would be like, oh, here's our 40 hours, we're done. But no, we enjoy the community. We enjoy hanging out with each other. So we find ourselves putting in a lot more hours than we should sometimes.
So Faz brings up a good point. We're running a little bit long. Community, any more questions? Start queuing those up. Throw it either on the YouTube feed or in the Faz Radio chat, and we'll get to those momentarily. I always ask somebody like a goofy question towards the end, because we like to not only for my own purposes, but for the community to get to know the person we're talking to on a non-official basis. So for you, Vera, besides Gala games and gaming, tell us, what do you do with your spare time? What do you, if Gala said, you know what, we've been working you too hard, there's a day next Tuesday, we want you to go do whatever the hell you want, stay away from the computer, don't look at Gala, anything, what would you do?
I'd probably want to play other video games, but if I wasn't, then I'd be like swimming, or I'd be working on cosplays.
Oh, so you do cosplay?
Mm-hmm.
Do you go to that convention they have every year?
San Diego Comic-Con?
Yeah.
No, I have never made it to that one. I usually make it to Dragon Con, though.
Very cool.
Dragon Con's the big one. Do you follow the con circuit, Mr. Titan?
I've seen a lot of videos on it, but I'm not like in that scene, so to speak. It'd be kind of creepy for a 52-year-old guy to be like praying around at some thing.
What are you
like
talking
that,
about? Those cons are full of 52-year-old creepy guys. Tell us about them, Vera. I'm sure you've seen them.
Not this one.
Did we scare her off?
She's like, I'm not answering any more questions. Thank you for the interview. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I was in the con circuit for a while, but more the Star Trek side. And you find
Did you wear the ears, Faz?
Nope. You'll find the creepiest people at those places.
Yeah.
And they're honestly creepy too. It's not like they're trying to well, I guess I don't know all the types there, but they're like extremely like beyond nerdy. There is a creep factor in extreme nerdidity.
Well, Faz will tell you, and we've talked about it here before, I used to bully him a lot years and years
Because he's
years
much
ago.
older than me.
And I am not. And I've lost most of that over the years, but I have a day job, and I go there, and we have a bunch of mechanical engineers there. And there's one in particular who's kind of goofy. He's a young guy, just graduated college not too long ago. And he's like into all that, like that whole circuit, right? And he plans his vacation around some of these, I guess they call them conferences or whatever. And I said, well, he's like, well, I have a whole character that I'm doing. And I said, why don't you wear that to work tomorrow?
Oh my.
So we can see what it's all about. And the dude did it. I was shocked. He walked around with a sword and a cape all day.
And spandex too? Was there spandex?
There was no spandex, no. But that was interesting. So a lot of my knowledge comes from this person who gave me the big long-winded spiel on how that whole thing works. And so I thought it was kind of cool, but at the same time, I people like get really, really big into that. His life revolves around that stuff. So I mean, to each their own, but I was like, wow, I didn't realize people went that deep into that genre.
You have no idea.
Yeah, I've
Uh
spent a lot of money on cosplays, so yeah, I totally get it.
So a question came in from Rocket Unit. So how does Gala keep moderators and community managers updated on everything that's going on?
The moderators are amazing. A lot of them, listen to the AMAs, then they make their own notes. So a lot of the moderators are out seeking all that information for themselves because they're interested in the games anyway. In addition to that, they can always reach out to us CMs. They can attend our weekly meeting and ask questions, and we do our best to keep them updated. As to how community managers stay updated, we also are listening to the same AMAs because that's how we know, okay, this is public information. We can now talk about that. And, we also go through Slack, and our Slack is like at least 10,000 messages a day. So we're just constantly reading and consuming information all the time.
That's got to be tough keeping all that together. I oh my god.
That's
You
why
guys have like
yeah, that's why there's lots of us.
well, so how many community managers and mods do you guys have now, roughly?
Let me hop over and look that up. I think we've got like around 6 or 7 CMs, and we're all in different areas. For example, Farmer Michelle is on Townstar. Doug hangs around The Walking Dead and the Portuguese community a lot. Taco is in music and film. Vent is everywhere because he's amazing. Nephilim Haas is also everywhere. He's kind of on the, behind the scenes doing cool stuff. Anita is, she's mostly working on Reddit stuff. And we just recently got our Toyami, who is our international CM, who's going to help with a couple of Korean communities, which is amazing.
So speaking of that, it seems like you hear in like random chunks about how Gala's kind of expanding to like different areas of the world, not just focused primarily in US and Canada and UK. I know Jason's been over in Asia. He was in Thailand, I think, is his next stop. How do you guys expand the CMs and the mods to cover all of that region? Do you guys like jump in there and do your best, or are you looking to maybe add to staff that can handle that?
Yeah, I think we're constantly looking for people that are passionate and understand Gala. Like the majority of the CMs were moderators for months before they got hired. So they know what it's like. It's not a surprise of what to expect. And we do need more support because Spider Tanks doesn't have a CM. It used to. Curious Hero did an amazing job as a CM, and he did such an amazing job that he got promoted. And a similar thing happened with Kate, who was also an amazing CM. So yeah, we're constantly looking for people that are in the community that are interested in joining the team.
Faz, you got anything else? I've asked about 4,000 questions. This poor interviewee here is probably tired of listening to me pepper her with stuff.
There's always time for your questions.
I was just waiting until you were done. Didn't want to get yelled at again. You know how that goes.
Yeah, I do pick on Faz a little bit too much. He goes on tangents like I just did with you, and I'm like, why am I even on this cast if I can't say anything?
Mm-hmm. So Demology here says Diablo Immortal shows that there are people who will spend 100K to be best in the game. But there are 1.01% of players. And that's the thing is the amount of players that's in Gala games right now seems to me to be rather low compared to what they aspire to. And everybody's looking at these nodes. Well, not everybody. Some people are looking at the nodes saying these nodes are a joke because we don't have as many players as the nodes might, deal with. But the nodes are a really big scaling, really good scaling choice to be able to handle millions of players. And so every time I get a node, I think about what they're actually setting up for and what they're getting prepared for. So I do get a bit annoyed, though, because if you do want to get players in that don't spend $5,000, they could spend $25. They need a mechanic that supports them. I mean, they need something. So that's a long-winded just suggestion of mine. Let's see what else we got here. Got any more questions?
I don't see any myself.
Rocket Life here was saying the clothes will all be crafted by players. That'll be interesting if they choose to make clothes templates that you can choose to craft, or if you're actually going to be making the actual clothes, where you could choose the design. However, I see if you choose the design, technically you could probably come up with something indecent that they might eventually not like in the game, so I bet they're going the template route. But no, I don't really have any questions. You got to a lot of my questions, Mr. Titan, and
I'm sorry. I was just really excited to have Vera on. She's such an amazing part of Gala Games, and Faz always teases me because when we get epic guests like you on here, I shower the compliments, and then he makes fun of me for a week. But I really think that the combination of you and Bucks and Carrie that try so hard to be so patient and so engaged with the community like that, you three set the example for what I would hope all of the community moderators and all of the new mods would aspire to be more like, because I think that at the point that we're getting where it's starting to open up to more people, it's only going to get more confusing. And with you guys having such a beautiful touch with people, that is going to be what takes Gala to that next level, is working with the people the way that you do. And I'm just amazed, and I'm thankful that you're there in the community.
Thank you so much. And I'm so glad you mentioned Bucks and Carrie, because not only are they amazing human beings, but to see strong women in this industry where, women aren't treated the best, it's very inspiring to see how equal we are.
That's a really good point, because it is, as Faz mentioned a little while ago, 97% of gaming is men or boys or whatever you want to call them. And the female approach that you guys have taken is not only respected by the community, but I don't think we're at a point where it matters anymore. It's just epic human beings. And when you can take and have the patience that you do, and have the way to talk to people and get them to understand maybe something that they misunderstood, instead of coming in and being aggressive and trying to be dominant, that's huge. And that level of respect, I think, is not only demonstrated, but encouraged, and it should be encouraged and rewarded in something like this, where that is so vitally important to have a community.
It's worth mentioning that Um, people wonder why certain professions are more female than others, and I was in the nurse's aide and nursing profession for a while in my distant past, and it turns out, I kind of wondered at the time, why are there so many nurses why are the nurses mostly female? And at first, of course, it was a female relegated kind of job, but something else I realized as I was a nurse's aide, because most nurses' aides are not male, is females are just more tolerant. Males, I can tell you when I was helping elderly females would be more scared of male nurses and male nurses' aides, and the females were just plain nicer. And there's something to be said about male aggression and in games and stuff. Games right now are all they all seem to be very aggressive in nature. Those are the most popular games, but I think we're going to start seeing some more female influence on games as they get bigger, and hopefully that'll make for some more laid back games.
Well, I'll tell you, my Vox is a female Vox, and I found it interesting that it is rarer than a male Vox. Maybe, Vera, you can take that back and push for some equality there.
Yeah, I noticed that the first Town Star collection, it was like only a quarter were female. And then, I think it was interesting how the metadata for The Walking Dead didn't even have gender. So it was interesting to see that.
Well, The Walking Dead is they've put a lot of females in the series and stuff, a lot more strong females. So it would make sense for The Walking Dead, but I bet they thought of, well, female Vox are just going to be rare, like the skeleton Vox and the chicken Vox and stuff like that. But yeah, I agree with having it fairly equal.
Yeah, that's something that that I enjoy, is that gaming can be anything you want it to be. Now, I say it just about every cast that we have, but I'm not a gamer at all. I've never played games. Once in a while, just for a little bit of fun. I'm learning. My whole introduction to like serious gaming is Gala Games. So you guys are shaping my experience here, and I know I can't be the only one.
Not only you, but I think a lot of the people in right now are degens learning about what games are like. And I think I've seen some degens myself starting to get into games that have never played games before. So it's a very interesting angle.
Yes, Rocket Unit just posted, moderators deserve their own collectible NFTs.
Moderators deserve a
Ooh.
lot. Like when I was a mod, there was nothing. You didn't even get leaks.
Back in her day. Back in my day. All right. So sounds like we're kind of naturally wrapping up here, which is good. We've kept her on the hook for 92 minutes now.
Holy cow.
We must have been having some kind of fun.
Half of it was you and I arguing.
I know.
Poor Vera just had to sit there and listen to it.
Well,
she had time to pee and go get a new drink.
I wanted to make sure that I answered a few points rather than her, because some points about well, how can you price something so and so and whatever. I don't think that she can really.
Goodness.
She can really comment on prices.
She can do whatever she wants. She's loved and adored there.
Okay. See, he's
or at
just
least
saying
that's
this,
what I'll advocate.
He's just saying this
I'll advocate it
to get on your good side.
No, look, so there's everybody has like their favorites over at Gala, right? And Vera's absolutely in my top 5 people over there. And it was just such a pleasure being able to talk to you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. And thank you, community, for being awesome. Thank you, moderators. Thank you, CMs. Thank you, everyone at Gala. Have a beautiful, blessed Friday night.
What she said. Great. All right. Well, I'm going to cut it off right here. So thank you guys again. And let me find this outro button. Here we go.